How long should I study for the GRE?
I'm going to give a simple answer and then a more complicated answer. The simple answer is roughly 3 months.
2 to 3 months for most people.
A couple of months is a reasonable place to start if you're just trying to decide how to fit studying into your overall application schedule.
4 or 5 months.
3 to 6 months.
That depends on your goal score. You kind of want to see, okay, from my practice test to my kind of intended score, how much do I need to improve to get there, and how long is that going to take?
I like to say that people should study about a month for every 2 to 3 points that you want to increase.
Well, which sections do you need to study for, and what areas of those sections are most problematic?
If it's verbal that's holding you back, there's no real way to rush it. You need a lot of experience with reading comprehension, but more to the point, you will likely need a long time to learn the vocabulary, because vocabulary can only be learned at a certain pace. It's hard to learn more than 5 to 10 words per day in vocabulary.
If you're focusing your attention on quant, if you haven't seen any of this content in a while, you're going to need some time. I'd say 2+ months to make sure that you can expose yourself to all of the quant material and have time to also focus on the strategies for question types like quantitative comparison.
Sometimes people ask me, well, what if I study like 8 hours a day? Again, this may just be me, but I have not found that there's a big difference between people who study 8 hours a day or say they study 8 hours a day and people who study just 2 to 3 hours a day. At some point, there seems to be sort of a dropping point of productivity.
It is a point at which if you've been studying 10 to 15 hours a week for 6 months, it's time to start thinking about, is there a better way you could spend that time?
That's where fatigue and burnout kind of set in, and your studies can kind of be counterproductive due to how emotionally taxing it can be.
But even with respect to your admissions into the school you want to go to, 10 to 15 hours a week, there's a lot you can do with that time. That might be better than trying to eke out an extra point or two on the GRE.
I definitely recommend, though, that if you are looking at a study timeline of longer than 3 months, you build in a break of at least a couple weeks, maybe longer at some point along the way.
I've had a lot of students do an intense period of studying, and then something comes up or they get a little burnt out, they take a break, and then they come back to their studying, again, at a slow and steady pace. And I find that often the material really soaks in over time, and their having taken a break, if anything, is even a benefit.
If you like this video, subscribe. If you have a question, leave it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching.